Question from you, answering it to keep you healthy. And actually today's is such a good question. It's not specifically health related, but it will help you get and stay healthy. But before we get there, I am Coach Mack, the founding health coach of Running with Bacon, where I help women feel like themselves again via fitness, one small step at a time. And I am joined, like always, with Renata of Nourish Renata.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. So I am Renata, intuitive nutrition coach, and I help women be empowered with their food to heal their bodies, mind, and spirit.
So important for women. Love it. And today our question is, how do you know if a coach is a good coach? So it is a doozy of a question. There's so much that goes into it. So I'm really pumped to hear what your thoughts are on this question.
Yes, I love this question so much. And I agree that there's a lot that goes into it. So the way that I want to answer it is through my own experience. So both Mack and I are coaches, as you know, and we also have had in the past various coaches, and I currently have a coach. And so based upon my own experience, for me, what makes a good coach is someone that not only cheerleads, not only supports and encourages, but also creates space for challenging questions and conversations. So being a coach is two-pronged, in my opinion. Number one, it is supporting you. It is making sure that you have someone that you can lean on when times are tough, when you have questions, you know you can go to someone and they will give you guidance and advice based upon their knowledge. But secondly, and for me, this is the most important, is that a coach is someone that will also ask the tough questions, the questions that nobody else will ask you. Because it's great to have a cheerleader. I love helping and supporting people, but that by itself doesn't necessarily propel you forward into that space of uncomfortability. Because as we know, that is where we grow. It also helps you when you're faced with these really challenging and interesting conversations and questions, it helps you to think about, okay, what have I been doing? What is not working? And where do I want to go? It allows you to get into the space of what do I know that I know? What do I know that I don't know? But also, what don't I know that I don't know, right? And that's what's great about conversations with coaches, because it really does allow you to expand your perspective, expand your mind on what am I doing in my life and what is working or what is not working to help me to get to a particular goal. So once again, for me in particular, the most impactful coaches are the ones that have asked me super tough questions that have forced me to really think deeply about where I am in my life, as well as how am I going to get to a particular goal. I will say that I don't know if I am particularly well suited to say that for everybody, this is what is a good coach, right? It depends very much on your personality and a personality that's going to fit with you. And so I really encourage you, because there's so many different kinds of coaches. Some of them are super tough. Some of them are like militarian almost. Some of them are super sweet and loving like me. And it really depends on what type of personality is going to fit best with you, that you know is going to help to edge you into that zone of uncomfortability, that will edge you into that zone of, I don't know what I don't know. And so looking at personality types is also going to be really helpful for your results, which leads me into my last part. And that's basically, should we say a good coach is someone that gets you results? To me, it's a yes and no, because yes, a coach should be able to give you guidance and advice to help you to, take those steps towards a goal. But ultimately, you as the client, you as the person that is desiring change, you need to have that commitment. You need to be the one that every day you're saying to yourself, okay, I know what I need to do, and I'm going to be the one to get myself to that particular goalpost. And so I think it can be really easy to say, well, I didn't get these results, so this particular coach is therefore bad. It's not like that 100%. It's definitely a two-way street. We all need to be committed to the end goal. And so judging a coach based solely off of results might not be the most accurate way of doing so, because it does depend on the client's commitment as well. Mack, what do you think?
I love everything that you said. That was such a well-rounded answer because when I read this question, I was thinking, okay, if I have clients and they're saying, what makes a good nutrition coach or a good fitness coach or a good, health coach or whatever kind of coach in terms of health, like how do I know if they know their stuff and that, all that. And so, but you took it even one level bigger and just did coaches as a whole, which I love because I was thinking smaller. So, but I very similarly appreciate the fact that you touched on there's so many different aspects of it. And I will say kind of for me is a two-way approach to see, is this coach going to be a good coach for me? Because like you said, it's not necessarily a good coach in general. There are going to be different people who think different coaches are very good. So the first thing that I will mention is a credentialed coach. And I don't mean, it doesn't have to be a certain certification or a certain degree or things like that, but I'm talking in terms of education, experience, coaching other clients, how well-rounded are they? If there are certifications that help, do they have any of those? Like, do they actually know what they're talking about? And I'm sure that in this day of social media and online experts, everyone can say that they're an expert in something. And that doesn't mean necessarily that they have the credentials or the experience to back it up. That's not saying those people haven't or don't help people. However, that education and the experience and the credentials, it does add some extra weight to saying, well, this person does know what they're talking about. I can trust that their information, what they're telling me, is either backed by science, backed by experience with other coaching clients and things like that. So I think that is a big, often overlooked part of it in today's world, with everyone saying, oh, I'm a keto coach. Oh, I'm a CrossFit coach. I'm a this coach. I'm a that coach. Just because something worked for them doesn't mean that they are qualified then to coach others in it. So that's part one. But part two, like you touched on, is the personality factor, because everyone is going to relate better to different personalities. And so I think finding someone who is willing to get to know you as a person and figure out what it is that you're needing from them, if your styles will jive, I guess, because there are a lot of coaches out there who just need paying clients and they are not as concerned about if it's a good fit or not. And the best coaches, in my opinions, are the ones who are willing to turn down paying clients and say, I'm probably not a good fit for you for this, but here's someone who might be, or here's what I'd recommend looking for in a coach, things like that. And again, in this online world of experts, there are enough people that are just out to make a buck that when you find a coach who's willing to see if you're a good fit and see if whether it's your values align or your personality styles, things like that align, I think you're going to find way more success in that than it's almost like the square peg round hole type thing for coaching styles. If people are just looking to make a buck. So those are the two things that I would look out for. And then a third smaller, in my opinion, smaller aspect of it is just making sure that they are willing to adapt their coaching style to you. Because I kind of mentioned it before, whether it's someone who steadfastly believes in keto or CrossFit or insert fad diet, if that is their only method of coaching, it may not be as applicable and adaptable to what you're looking for. So not saying they're not a good coach for someone who is looking for that style, but if that's all they do, it may not necessarily be what will be most effective for you. So a bunch of different things to consider, because there is a coach out there for everyone in every different aspect of life. So it's really determining what are you looking for in a coach and then finding someone who fits that, has the credentials, the personality match, and all of the above. And honestly, the only way to find out is to talk to them, follow them on social media and start interacting with them. And over time, you'll get a feel for if that person might be a good coach for you.
I love that. Thank you so much for bringing in those different aspects, because I love how we think about these questions completely differently. And then sometimes we think about them very similarly. But in this case, I love how pinpointed you were. The credentials, huge. I love that. And then the personality, of course, huge. And I love like your third point as well. I think that there's so many things that go into finding a good fit coach for you. And the most important thing, just in complete agreement with what you said, is try them out, interact with them, get an idea of the coaching experience from that particular person. That's the biggest tip that we can give you. That's the best way to figure out if it's a good match. And if you have a really great feeling about it, if you're like, man, from a free conversation already, I'm seeing areas where I can, improve my habits or improve my fitness or improve my nutrition, that is the best thing of all. That's the truest way of figuring out if a coach is the best fit for you. So yeah, thank you for joining us for this amazing question. I loved your answer, Mac.
Thank you. Yes. And I will say one more thing quick, that if a coach isn't willing to let you talk to either their current or past clients, that might be a red flag, because most coaches who have really happy clients will say, heck yeah, talk to them, and the clients will rave about the coach. So 100%. A little bit of a red flag if you're looking for people, but that usually doesn't happen. So
yeah. So many tips in the answer to this question. I love it. Okay, we will see you in the next question. Thanks for watching.